Hello there, this is Kate in the Nest and welcome to this making session. If you know my work, you may be looking at these colours in front of me and wondering what is going on. So Kate the storyteller is going to say that I found myself being gifted some things and also drawn to some things that have really challenged me, so much so that I want to try out a new project, and I'm going to call it a vintage project because I've been gathering things in my nest and just loving observing things. So this beautiful pin cushion was gifted to me, and it's really made me think about tapestry and cross stitch and these beautiful colors. I keep looking at this piece that I bought back from the States earlier, and you know how much I love my crochet and flowers. I want to keep this piece whole because it's a collar, and I'm thinking, yeah, I'm starting to notice historic pictures of women in collars and this beautiful work of the past. So that's just been on display here as a treasure. And then the beautiful Amelia gifted me this quite a while now, and it's just sat in front of me, and I've just opened it with joy. And I hadn't seen this effect before, so here's an idea. We're journalers, but Amelia found this beautiful music score. Personally, I love Beethoven, and she has filled it with a mixture of papers and vintage pieces. So that one, you'll see my color palette in a minute, and I'm really drawn to that. All the way through, she has made these beautiful little pieces. And so I'm thinking about the mixing of paper and fabric. And of course, butterflies are my sign of transformation. Joy every time I open that. I won't use that in this piece. Again, these fine fabrics. And look at this. I suppose this is the inspiration right now that's speaking to me absolutely so much. This piece is layer upon layer of crochet, index paper, and fine cotton. So Amelia, you know how special you are, and I'm sending you joy smiles, and I just want you to know how much this piece has meant to me and the inspiration. So I hope you're getting the idea, everyone out there in YouTube land, just how divine and what a gift to give others. I'm newly inspired by how much joy I have had opening this piece and then just looking at it, and my favorite crochet flowers. So the context of all of this is that I've pulled together some pieces that are quite pastel for me. A beautiful lady just threw in with one of my purchases some vintage fabrics, and I'm going to be referring to those. That's velvet, I think. Collecting, I've had this for a very long time. So let's talk about context. I am going to make, first of all, in this vintage project, I'm going to make a vintage vessel. And I went back to the things that I love, and it is the fringy shaggy, it's the use of crochet and embroidery, of course. And I haven't spoken about these big pieces, the inspiration. I was on the lookout for some chenille. I'm always looking out for that. And I just came across this that I didn't share the other day, and I've had a lovely message from the Achieve Sewing Basket. So again, a shout out to them. This big piece of chenille was $4. $4 at the Sewing Basket, and it takes me back to chenille quilts, etc. And I'm particularly treasuring this corner with the fringe going all the way around. So I think that's something I'm going to use. So I'm going to marry pops of lots of pastels with little pops to make it mine. I also picked up a single sheet ages ago that I've pulled out, and it is beautiful and pink, and this is flannelette on the outside, so I might use that. The other thing is, so as I said, just inspired because I've just went into my room as I'm trying to tidy my nest up, and suddenly all these things, I've been influenced by field notes, roses, and I'm just really inspired. So here we go. What I've done is my nest within a nest is I put together the basics of a nest or a vessel. I'm going to use this as a pop. I've got an idea for that. And let's start some stitching and some working. Yes, but Kate has buried her pin cushion. There's the scissors. Here it is, over here. For inspiration. So this is very first steps of a new nest, and I'm thinking that I want to do, in this project, I'm thinking about nests. I'm thinking about the dilly bag that we made for Roxy's challenge. I want to try, because I've got a lot of this fabric, a crocheted bag in these colors, and then probably an altered book with the idea of putting pages and pictures and memories. So it's a big project, but I'm home and I've gone silent because what do I actually need to start with? I need some things to sew with. So let's do a little pink there. I'm going to keep my signature variegated cotton. So even though I'm working with unique, no, not unique, what's the word? Vintage, I'm going to keep my favorite colors popping. So let's start from the very beginning. I should have threaded up before. I hope you are well, and whatever you're up to, I'm sending smiles and joy to you, my friends. And I feel so confident now to share a journey like this with you from the beginning, and that's a real credit to all of you lovely people, whether you've just joined me or have been here for a long time. Okay, so this is a blanket I share regularly. It happens to be an Onka Paringa. Got this at the op shop. Made in Australia and 100% pure wool. So, and that wasn't me that was on it, so maybe that's who it belonged to. So I want to feature that. And I could have put it at the top, but I didn't. I want that to be a discovery. So I've quickly put together, loops out, a rough vessel bottom. It will be reversible, as all my nests are. So if it is going this way and I haven't decided yet, just better check I'm in the middle. Am I a bit too far up today? Who knows? I keep moving things around. It will show on the outside, or if it's on the middle, that's like that. So this is, I probably would have preferred a blue and a pink. This one's got a lot of the lemon and the apricot, but I actually think that might make it even more interesting. So let's get on with the show, as it were. And I've used a lot of the pink on this piece before, But I do love this all parts of this fringe. So we'll just, do you know, I think I've got a bruise from tearing my strips. You know, they talk about, you know, pain and all of those sorts of things, but I never expected that my making would, I'm liking that little rosy bit there. So I've done my nest vessels in all sorts of ways. Sometimes I've left all the blanket and covered it entirely. Sometimes I've used fabric and then put everything on top of the fabric. And as far as this one goes, I do not know. So I'm just literally playing with things right now with you. Let's open this beautifully wrapped sheet. I had been thinking that I could use this in one of my bags as well. It's brighter pink on there than on the outside, so literally. Yep. Let's tear it. Oh, is that something else inside there? I don't know. Okay. Oh, it's a long strip. Okay, that's more than we need. So a little bit of that pink. And let's tear some of I just looked out my window there, my crab apple tree is just starting to blossom and it matches this colour. So there's another inspiration. Not up to Chanel yet, but you can see I'm absolutely would love to do that. Here's some, this is a very, very stained piece. I'm not sure that I'll be up to that yet. So let's do some stitching. Test out whether this is going to be nice to sew on. It's not wonderful. So that means I'm not going to use huge strips of it to start with. So I want to use the pinks to start with to sort of cover up some of the yellows. And thanks to the green door, I have now seen quite a few vessels in person that followers of the girls have made. So that is, you know, just something that makes me smile, that how wonderful it's been. And I did get comments about some of you have done the challenge right from the beginning, every volume. And I do love how we can go back and, you know, we've got these skills under our belt. I was about to say, there's no rules to say that because a vessel was in volume 5 that we can't keep making as many as we want. And I truly use mine all the time. Okay, so if you, like, I should have bought more materials down, I'm thinking. I didn't really think about where I was going to get to. I just gathered my bits and thought I'd set the story up. Now, this is such a treasure that's only going to be used in tiny little bits. Let's look for a bit more contrast because it's so special. Let's put that up there. And let's whip stitch this. And I do love, as I've probably told you, that a project like this, Kate, who gets bored, can go, okay, leave the outside and pop into the inside. And that way it is always growing, but not monotonous. The challenge is just working out the textures and which layers to go through. I love that that's fraying already. Sort of feel my camera might be in a different spot today. Is that okay? Hope it is. I was just watching Rachel and hearing her try to concentrate on making her tags. Well, incredibly excited that Lulu has got into Milan University, and how special, and they're suddenly making lots of plans, and Rachel's teaching Lulu to cook the recipes on her own, and it's just lovely to hear the stories and to be part of that journey. Oop, this is a hard little piece to get through. And I might just leave that hanging for the moment, because I'll probably put other things underneath that. So here we have the vintage patchworky look. We've got some gingham, some flowers, a little bit of velour. I don't know whether I showed you this at the beginning. It's quite a bright blue. Again, this is a sewing basket piece I've had for ages. Look at that beautiful thread there. Is it too bright? Let's start with, see, my problem is I didn't bring enough down, but let's start having some fun in here. I'd like the fray to be up. Yep. Oh, I've got that green quilt, haven't I? That's what I was thinking. So let's find some of that in a minute. I'm thinking, let's pop that there. It's also so tempting now. I've got my camera, just my new stand. I just walk past this room and go, oh, just put the camera in because you're going to work on it anyway. And so just loving it. Oh, that's right, I have this piece here. Let's overlap that there. And come round to there. All right, time for some hot pink. And let's do some canther along first and then come back with some embroidery. Oh, that was a good effort, Kate. Is it not canther? It's a little bit of back stitch that I'm suddenly doing. Not sure why, but bigger stitches and in poppy colours. I've also been catching up on a few YouTubes as I've had lots of stitchy time and just watching what people are finding in their shopping is just, I love it. And I think that's what has inspired me. I thought, just go find some old things. Oh, do longer thread. So I've changed my mind now. So I'm only going to go to there, and let's do some pretty flowers along here. I'm going to just leave that pinned for a while because I don't know what will end up there. But let's highlight this strip. Kate's favourite and easiest flower ever. And as usual, this variegated thread is doing all the work for me because it's just subtly bringing together the blues and the pinks and even some mauve in this one, I think, going with that, and the green. I've done 4 petals. Let's do 1 up here. And in the rustic naive style, Mine aren't perfect. Oh. But I think so effective. And they make me happy. So there's one. Let's do 3. This one will be, I'll do it faster and the colours will come out differently. Got hot pink. There's another bit of hot pink. Might actually run out of cotton or wool. So that is not a problem because for the moment I'll just leave it as 3 petals. Hanging like that. And then I get another contrasting. Okay, let's look at, so that's what happens when I throw things down. How are we going time-wise? A little bit more time. Now, Vinnie's plastic tag, $3. It's a little quilt. I actually found this in the baby section just near the checkout. That's my local Vinnie's, which is my favorite one to go to. So let's pull that hand stitching up there. And I just bought it because A, it was cheap, B, liked the pattern, and these are the fun things that we discover that we can do. All right. I can see it's just got little, don't know what that's called, but it's just had little knots tied to keep it together, so it should be easy. There we go. To pull apart. Yep. You see what I mean? So there's the wadding, there's the backing, and there's these little stitches. If I can see them, I'll just pop them from in here because I don't want a huge piece of this at the moment. I'll just see if it can randomly form the basis of a part. Feels very good to do this. I'm thinking of whoever made this. Feeling sorry that it's ended up in Vinnie's, but just honouring the work, the maker, the story, all of that. So if I had time, one time I'd probably sit and pull this all off, but I never make time for things like that because I just like the actual stitching and crocheting and journaling to me. Oh, that's going to be such a lovely feature print. So let's just go here. And how does it, oh, and lovely to sew. So that is exciting. So I'm going to put that there. I think I'd like it to, oh, see, my lazy daisies are in the way now. That's okay. Let's cut these roses here. Put this one up underneath. There we go. Move this pin. Do we want this over the top? No, I want the fray. Like that. And let's get some of this in the needle. See how nests just attract things to live in them. So I love making them so much. Okay, let's think. You don't actually really need to think very much. I'm going to leave that open for tucking some things in. So let's go along here now. So it's not standing out yet because it's on the blue. Oops. I was also watching Christine from, and sorry I got this mixed up last time, Christine, from Craft and Create with Christine. I'm going to meet her later this year, so I'm very excited. And she was working on her quilt, and was that the name of a prompt? Treasure Hunt or something like that? A volume? I'm not sure, but it just inspired me to get to work on this piece and this project and just have fun. So let me know what you're working on. I know I make some of you dizzy because I jump from my journals to my crocheting to my summer blooms and then random things. I want to make some cupcake pin cushions as well this week. So I just have to say thank you for your patience with me and for all the lovely comments that you write. And if you're watching this and saying, don't leave your joyful colours, Kate, I am not. This is just, as I said, I just felt blessed to look at my stash and think and be inspired by different things. And whether the fabric is new or old, we all have our own style that we don't want to change from. So how about that? I think that's a good start. Don't let me get started. I really want to put some Chanel on already. Ooh. No. I'll do that and then show you how that comes out on another update. So you might see this quite often. Who knows? As I said, vessels, a dilly bag, and a crochet bag, and one of them is going to end up, maybe the dilly bag, who knows, will wear this collar and some of my other vintage pieces whole. Did I show you that one? Who knows? let's just finish with that lovely little fringy there, because you know I want to do that, don't you? Okay, this is Kate in the Nest. Thank you so much for joining me, sending you hugs and smiles and everything you need for a happy day. Bye.